Most of us seek help, answers to questions, solutions to situations in the external world, anywhere that could somehow magically solve all our problems. I would like to reveal a secret to you. All the answers are within us. A person emits energy, electromagnetic waves. Thanks to this energy, we influence and program our lives. When a person concentrates, meditates, prays, gets angry, laughs, at that moment, a person's energy becomes stronger and more active than usual. This is concentrated energy that we emit, and through it, we influence our lives and events in it. There is absolutely no miracle in this because it's basic physics. You may have noticed that when you get angry, are in shock, or suddenly overwhelmed by strong emotions, strange things can happen, like clock malfunctions, internet outages, lights going out. This happens because the frequencies of electromagnetic waves you emit intersect with other electromagnetic frequencies. Each of us can do this. So every person has so-called powers. By properly directing energy, each of us can create the desired environment. Are our desires and fantasies truly what we need? Have you ever had a wish come true, yet felt unsatisfied with the result? Or perhaps you didn't even realize that what you dreamed of became reality. Why does this happen? There are several reasons. The first is timing. What you dreamed of came true too late and lost its essence. The second is that the fulfilled wish doesn't resemble what you dreamed of. This means you weren't precise and specific enough in programming your wish. In other words, your dreams lacked concreteness and precision. Let's take an example. A woman, a businesswoman. She works a lot and dedicates all her time to her business. She feels tired and exhausted because she has no time for personal life. On a rainy day, she returns late to an empty home and bursts into tears. What happens at that moment? Human energy is highly concentrated, like an electromagnetic rocket. Wherever it shoots, it will explode. In this case, at this specific moment, the woman simply wishes to be a homemaker and take care of her children and husband. It was an unplanned, spontaneous, emotional outburst, possibly triggered by fatigue or other reasons. Energy rocket launched thoughtlessly. A strong desire lacks a deadline, visualization. How does this woman's life progress? She works intensively, successfully developing her business. One day she goes on a trip and meets a man she falls in love with. The feeling is mutual. The woman becomes pregnant and can no longer devote enough time to the business. The situation becomes unmanageable. She decides to sell the business and devote herself to the family. It seems like a fairy tale with a happy ending, but unfortunately, not everything is as beautiful as it seems at first glance. The woman is used to making decisions independently, controlling the situation, subordinates, being financially independent. She faces numerous problems becoming a housewife and dependent on her husband. So let's return to the energy rocket. In this example, we see that the woman's dream came true, but not as she wanted. And this happened because the dream lacked specificity, a deadline, analysis. It was a one-time strong emotional state. In this story, the woman could have had everything she dreamed of if she had consistently programmed her future energetically and physically. She could have avoided such a strong life change that traumatizes. This scenario, like countless others, has many nuances and factors that determine how these scenarios will develop. So thanks to our focused energy, we can plan, create, and design our life. How to do it, you can find out in the course, The Architect of Your Life. Wouldn't it be fantastic to live the life you dream of? Would you like to? Then answer yourself the question, what exactly do you want? Few people can describe their dream life in detail. To understand what you really want, analysis is necessary. Analysis of your feelings, needs, environment. Taro can help with this. Taro is an open and honest look into your inner world. It is self-analysis and much more. Why is self-analysis necessary? Often we are not open and honest with ourselves, so we make wrong decisions, draw incorrect conclusions, and create illusions. Taro is our mirror that shows what we don't want to see or acknowledge, and we can compare it to house cleaning. The process is not very pleasant, but the result is truly satisfying. So, even in our inner world, order and clarity are necessary. A chaotic and disordered inner world will reflect in our actions and behaviors, which means a chain reaction that will attract negativity and chaos. Clarity is necessary not only in desires and thoughts, but also in the world around you. I would like to invite you to an unusual virtual journey. Let's use imagination, fantasy, the mind, and immerse ourselves in the vast world of esotericism. Imagine your life as a train on which you board at birth and disembark when it's time to depart for another energetic dimension. In this wonderful journey, we decide in which carriage and next to which travel companions to stop, with whom to interact, when to change seats or move to another carriage of the train. What we cannot influence are the forces of nature and the behavior of others, the situations they create, which can reflect in our emotions, decisions, and actions. Let's imagine that our life train is special because instead of a ceiling, there is a mirror. By looking up, we see the reflection of the entire carriage and the passengers we cannot see from our current position. Taro is like a mirror on the ceiling in which we see reality, not the illusion we have created about what happens around us and within us. In the mirrored ceilings, you see the passengers of the carriage, their true actions and intentions. Places, situations that we cannot see from our current position. Imagine that the journey on the train of your life is going well, but you feel a bit hungry. You look around, hoping to see a vendor with a snack cart. Unfortunately, the passengers walking in the corridor of the carriage block the view, and here you remember the mirrored ceilings. Looking up, you see the reflection of the vendor standing at the end of the carriage. In your mind, several ways to reach the food cart immediately arise. So, which action to take? Make your way through the crowd of passengers or sit patiently and wait for the vendor with the cart to come to you. The first way promises to be exhausting, while the second is risky. There are many people, and there is a possibility that the cart, when it reaches you, is already empty and all the snacks have been bought along the way. Analyzing the possibilities, you do not take your eyes off the mirror on the ceiling and observe the cart and the vendor. You see the vendor take a box from the cart and sell it to a passenger, saying that today there are great discounts on cosmetics and perfumes. At that moment, you realize that there are no snacks in the cart, but only cosmetics and perfumes. It was your hungry imagination that made you see what wasn't there. So thanks to this metaphorical story, it becomes a bit clearer what Taro is. Taro can show a real, not imaginary situation, the possibilities, their course, and the outcome. Seeing the real situation, you save time, energy, and you can go to another carriage to look for the snack cart. Who knows, maybe in the next carriage you will meet a person who will gladly share a snack and become a great company until the next stop, or maybe for the entire journey. Traveling on the train of life, you move from carriage to carriage, meeting not only people, but also seeing warning signs on the doors and walls of the carriages. How you respond to them is your choice. Will you stop to read the warning? Will you take appropriate action? Or will you ignore it? It's up to you. Taro like warning signs. Taro warns and informs. So it's clear that thanks to Taro, we can see the real situation. Understanding reality allows us to plan our actions and achieve the best desired result. It's wonderful when we have several choices, possibilities. Taro can show how each of the chosen possibilities will develop and what the outcome will be, so the choice is yours. Everyone is the master of their own life. Taro, a mirror of reality, showing possibilities, predicting potential outcomes. As we begin to explore what tarot cards are, who uses them, and how, let's delve into their deep history of origin and development. The first traces of the cards were found in 1392 in France and mentioned by the treasurer of King Charles VI. Tarot was first mentioned in 1440 in Italy. The Visconti and Sforza families of Milan commissioned cards that became the prototype of modern tarot. They were used as playing cards. In 1465, the Tarocchi Montagna deck appeared, whose structure was based on the Kabbalistic understanding of the universe, known as the 50 Gates of Bina. The deck contained 50 cards, divided into 5 types: celestial sphere, foundations and benefactors, social status, science, muses. Each type consisted of 10 cards. Some images were used in modern tarot cards. Many scholars, archaeologists, and historians have studied and proposed numerous theories about the origin of tarot cards. In the early 20th century, occult practitioner Pappus claimed that the tarot card system was created by ancient Egyptian priests. Englishman Peter Hollander, an interpreter of the tarot system, speculates that the word tarot comes from the Egyptian words tad, path, and rose, royal, meaning royal path. Legend has it that in ancient Egypt, a temple was built with 22 rooms, each depicting symbols reflecting the 22 major arcana of the Taro. Renowned Russian traveler, theosophist, and historian Yelena Blavatsky, comparing Hinduism, Buddhism, Kabbalah, and the Taro system, concluded that the 22 major arcana represent the tree of life of the universe, which forms the basis of many religious teachings. Occult classic Eliphas Levi stated that the major Taro arcana mirror the system of the Kabbalistic tree of Sephirot. This was a push to form the Taro system not only as a method of divination, but also as a tool for the development of magical rituals. A significant contribution was made by Aleister Crowley, one of the most famous occultists of the 19th-20th century. He wrote a series of books on occultism and devoted much attention to the symbolism of the Taro and its Kabbalistic and astrological correspondences. Another very well-known figure, like Arthur Edward Waite, a master of occult sciences, born in the USA but spent most of his life in London. In 1891, he got involved in the activities of the Golden Dawn Masonic Order. Waite wrote numerous books on topics such as magic, Kabbalah, alchemy, and numerology. He actively collaborated with the media. Inspired by him, artist Pamela Coleman Smith created 78 card illustrations. Since then, this deck has been known as the Rider-Waite deck. Instead of abstract, hard-to-understand color symbols, Waite convinced artist Smith to create vivid, easily interpretable images. Tarot cards intrigued not only esotericists and occultists, but also specialists in traditional practical psychology. Swiss psychologist and Sigmund Freud's student Carl Gustav Jung noticed that tarot symbolism coincides with his system of psychological archetypes. Many psychoanalysts began using the tarot deck to interpret their patients' mental states. Tarot is also used as a tool to encourage storytelling about one's emotional world and experiences in a non-directive way. This is just one of many methodologies used in psychological practice. So as I mentioned, tarot is a gateway to the subconscious, self-analysis, color therapy, and much more. Centuries have passed since the day tarot cards appeared. They have evolved and been refined. Countless branches and types of tarot have been created. Some of them have deviated from the classic rider system, while others have remained faithful, changing only the image. Thus, cards have been created that describe specific areas of life. For example, the Gnomes deck will open the doors to the material world, helping to see more clearly the essence of the situation in business and the opportunities with all the consequences that follow. The Manara deck, created by Italian comic book author Milo Manara in 2000, has a feminine energy, but this does not mean it is intended only for women. You probably know that every person has both a feminine and masculine principle. Thus, the Manara Tarot will describe feelings, needs, spiritual state, hidden desires, and fantasies. It will reveal your sensitive feminine principle. It is also an excellent tool for analyzing fears, doubts, and dreams. Meanwhile, the Decameron deck has a very strong masculine energy. The open images of this deck can tell much more than we see with the naked eye in open pictures. It is the path of a man, spiritual and physical, his fears, needs, experiences. The images on the cards should be interpreted and seen much deeper than just the depicted scenarios. Symbolism and metaphorical meaning, color psychology are very important. Tarot decks are often used for meditation, self-analysis, analysis. It is the psychology of colors, images that we see in the cards. They are not just pictures, they are a reflection of your inner world state. Each person will see different meanings in the picture, feel different emotions, and see a different scenario. Tarot is just a tool that helps find the way to yourself to see the real surrounding world. The tarot deck is your assistant, which will help you see details, teach you to analyze, understand the current state, feelings, and much more. Not for nothing, many psychologists use cards as a means to determine, analyze, and therapy of a person's mental state. Tarot is also lessons in psychosomatics. By analyzing the cards, we see scenes, emotions depicted in characters, and it helps to connect the emotional state of the character with the body language that expresses the character's feelings. This analysis is beneficial not only for adults, but also greatly helps teenagers and children. Many of us had difficulties understanding what was happening to us during adolescence and were reluctant to accept help from our parents or loved ones. It seemed like the whole world was against us. Hormonal waves, a growing body, and the first steps into the adult world create confusion in the mind and emotions. Taro helps to understand your real state, your emotions. Understanding and acknowledgement are the first steps towards resolving the situation. From a young age, a person accustomed to analyzing situations and their current state will not experience a great shock in any situation or state, but will be inclined to analyze and seek solutions. There are card decks designed for children that help them understand and feel the external world around them, as well as their own emotions. They help children see and read scenarios and stories depicted on the cards, thereby enhancing their imagination and fantasy. A very important part of Tarot for Children is analyzing the images they see on the cards. What do they talk about and what do they tell? What feelings and emotions dominate? This will help them understand the world and people around them much faster and more clearly. Learn to analyze and evaluate situations. This will be so necessary in the adult world when interacting with people and for self-analysis. Of course, the world of colors, which affects the human psyche and emotions, is not the last thing, but that's another story. You can learn more about the children's course White Rabbit at the end of this journey. In the world of cards, there are also oracles. How do they differ from tarot? Tarot cards have a system, whereas oracle does not. Oracle cards reflect your current state, your feelings, and your ability to interpret and analyze. A common way to use oracle is to draw one card. It can be a daily card, a forecast for the day, or advice for a specific situation. Meanwhile, tarot has a broader spectrum, its own system, and countless layouts. Each method is designed for a specific area or question. They are more specific than oracle. Thus, tarot cards are an invaluable tool to see the essence of situations and find solutions. They also awaken a person's psychic abilities. They aid concentration and meditation. They stimulate and activate a person's intuition. After all, tarot is just a tool to reveal your inner intuition. Everyone has psychic abilities. Some have them more developed, others less. Tarot helps you hear your inner voice and strengthen it. Everyone can read tarot. Tarot reading is like learning a new language. At first, we try to learn to read and pronounce words correctly and understand their meaning.